Welcome to Aqua Nor 2025. Everyone is here. Fish farmers, suppliers, politicians, scientists, and we are ready to dive into how to produce enough food for the world without harming marine ecosystems or contributing to biodiversity loss, and still keeping economic sustainability. In other words, how are we going to feed the world? Before we dive into this, let's go to the grand opening with His Majesty, the Crown Prince of Norway.
Please welcome up on stage His Royal Highness Crown Prince Haakon of Norway.
We hereby declare Aqua Nor 2025 officially open.
What a fantastic royal opening of Aqua Nor 2025. And this is what you can look forward to seeing in this first episode, Feeding the World. Each year, Aqua Nor kicks off with the Aqua Nor Conference, where politicians, scientists and industry leaders set the agenda for the debates. And of course, we were there.
All the companies and all the speakers on stage demonstrated that they are boldly investing and developing in new solutions that are very much needed for the industry to move towards a more sustainable and more productive industry.
Well, it's not like you can separate all the ocean industries. We all have to work together to utilize the technology and the resources that we have to use the ocean in a better way.
When we have a global population growth up to 2050, where we are approximately expecting 9.5 billion people, if we still are going to eat the same amount of fish, we must increase the production by 30-40 million metric tons. That's a big challenge, but it's also a big opportunity.
Seaweed can be the solution.
Can be one of the solutions. It can be a very relevant food for populations that are undernourished because seaweeds are rich in minerals.
And now with the subsea production, it changes everything. It changes everything from Norway, it changes everything for different countries, but the subsea and the more exposed farming is coming, and it's really big.
If you look into the sea, it's several thousand of different species that we can grow. And also this copepod that we have produced in seaweed, we are only producing one copepod today, but there is also several thousand species that we can produce.
A lot of people don't know how advanced the aquaculture industry is. It's not old men in knitted sweaters throwing out feed into some kind of pan.
There are so many small, medium and large companies serving the aquaculture industry with so many different technologies. It is a technological advanced industry.
Norway is the salmon capital of the world, so there's no better place for me to come and find new and exciting technologies that I think I could showcase really well to my online audience.
We also need to look into how we treat the fish, how we feed it. If you have the correct nutritional profile on your feed, you can also make it stronger to withstand sea lice. So I think marine ingredients there is really a key factor.
The main cause of mortality is infections and diseases, so obviously they need to have good control of detecting diseases and of course also handling them.
The biggest potential in farming is the people. Everyone in the company needs to have that ownership, the results, and that understanding of the biology, and of course the impact they make on the environment.
I think to wake up every day and think, how can I today contribute to produce a little bit more food, a little bit more sustainable, in a little bit better way, and then over time you will create a difference, I think.
Sometimes it's a matter of finding that entrepreneur who wants to take the first step, and once that entrepreneur takes the first step, then people will follow, Like they say in the movie, build it, they will come.
Sergio Nates, we have seen, of course, here at Aqua Nor lots of the modern initiatives, lots of new technology, many investors. It's an industry that's quite tech savvy. But where do you see the largest potential for aquaculture in the world in terms of developing more food from the ocean?
Well, I always point out that 3/4 of this planet is water. So it's going to come from offshore aquaculture, I think so. I think there's going to be some inland aquaculture, and there's certainly some inland aquaculture, but I think there's going to be some big developments on the offshore aquaculture. And when it comes out to technologies, I think that we all know, and I'm going to be preach here, AI is going to play a big role of how aquaculture develops.
But can this also be an important source of creating jobs in some developing countries? Can this mean something to the societies in the future?
It does, and I think I pointed out this morning. The two perfect examples of that are Norway and Ecuador.
Yeah.
Which are on one side the largest salmon producer in the world, and also the largest shrimp producer in the world. Yeah. So the amount of jobs that are being generated in Norway and the amount of jobs that are generated in Ecuador from the aquaculture industry are, large. So yes, I think that other countries, as aquaculture develops, there'll be more jobs available for people, to come and work in this industry.
Yeah, because it's not just food. Somebody has to produce it, and
somebody has to produce it. Correct.
And you were talking also to a lot of investors here, and you were talking about how important the investment opportunities are in this industry, that there is a need of capital, and I sort of conveyed you as relatively optimistic for investing in aquaculture.
I have, because like I said, I have been in this industry for a long time, and there's always risk, and there's always risk when you play with with something that has biological properties like fish or shrimp. It's not different from chickens or swine, but we have seen the consolidation on the shrimp on the swine industry and the poultry industry, and I don't see how the seafood industry or the aquaculture industry cannot be the same. I think sometimes it's a matter of finding that entrepreneur who wants to take the first step, and once that entrepreneur takes the first step, then people would follow. Like they say in the movie, build it, they will come.
Yeah, so you still think it's a young business?
Yes, it is. It is. I think we still have a lot to learn. You can count your chickens. The fact that aquaculture is a 3-dimension system makes it a little bit more difficult. So in the salmon industry, it's easy to use cameras and you see your animals and you can count them. The other industries, the other aspects of aquaculture, like in the shrimp industry, it's not as easy to count the animals,
no.
et cetera, et cetera. That's a little bit more complicated, but we will get there. I'm pretty sure that we're going to get there.
And finally, where do you see the biggest challenges are? From taking care of the ocean and still being able to feed the world in a sustainable way?
We don't have unlimited resources on this planet, so we're going to have to figure it out. Aquaculture is going to have a demand. Now we know that we require somewhere between 55 to 60 million metric tons of feed. Those ingredients to make that feed has to come from somewhere. I think that feed might become one of the bottlenecks, and the sourcing of sustainable ingredients without affecting the environment. I think that might be the major challenge. We will always have challenges, disease challenge. Sea lice in the case of salmon is a good example. Some of the shrimp diseases in Asia, etc., etc. But I think how we're going to feed the animals might be the biggest challenge.
And yourself, coming here to Trondheim for Aquanor, what are your expectations for your stay here?
It's always very nice to come to Norway because you guys are always one step ahead. You know, you're always one step in the curve. And if I always say that if you want to be good in something, you do as the people that do good in something. So you just copy them. So if this is the aquaculture industry in the world wants to be as Norway, come to see Norway. You know, somebody wants to grow shrimp, go to Ecuador. You want to grow salmon, come to Norway. You know, and you find out, learn from the best. Yeah.
That's a good advice. I wish you successful days in Trondheim.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank
meeting
you very
you.
much. Nice meeting you. Thank you.
In the next part, we'll dive deeper into the challenges regarding feeding the world. And as we all know, with challenges comes solutions.